Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at BTC. This is going to be a lower time frame video. Make sure you check out our higher time frame video up above if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so what we are still tracking here on the bigger picture is effectively a three-wave move to the downside, three-wave move to the upside. And what we're saying is that we have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, the most common target area here that we look for the C wave is between this 25,360 and this 23,646. Now, at the moment, if we were to say that this is completed into this low here, which is not as likely in my opinion, but we would have to then say that we've actually had a running flat. So we need to be on the lookout for this. If we do see price action starting to push up above some of these highs here, particularly these two, we could potentially be looking at this move as a completed structure here, where we are looking for a move to the upside. Now, this move to the upside, if it is in three waves, could mean that we still have continuation to the downside afterwards. If we start to see five-wave structure developing to the upside, it is possible that we could start to trend to the upside, but we don't have enough information for this currently. We are just tracking the different potentials here. Now, within this idea, what we would be saying is that we are looking for a five-wave structure to the downside, where we are saying that this is our wave 1 here, this is wave 2, this is 3, 4, and what we're looking for is our wave 5. Now, our wave 5 common target here is this 24,514 to this 23,495. Now, we also need to respect the fact that our 1-to-1 of our wave 1 that we have up here is also sitting here towards this zone of this 25,294. So we've almost come down towards this 1-to-1 already. So I'm just being mindful that, if we do start to reverse and break to the upside here, taking this wave 4 at this 28,164, this could be an indication that actually our fifth wave is already completed here. Now, it is also possible that we could be looking for some extension within these waves, so we need to be very careful of this idea. Now, internally, what I'm looking for here is that what we could be looking for is that we either still have a little bit more of a drop in this way, where what we would be saying is that this is 1, 2, 3 here, 4, and we're still looking for a fifth. So this would align with actually, pushing down one more time, looking to get towards this yellow target box area. So if this is the case, what we'd be looking for here is actually for price to start to break down in a five-wave move from this high that we have over here, this 26,135. Breaking above this could mean that we are either still looking at this as a three-wave structure here for wave 4, in which case I'd be keeping an eye on this 26,436 as a possible target. Now, the problem that we have here is that if this does look to extend out here and push up one more time, the likelihood becomes that actually our wave 3 is here, 4, and 5. And then we would have a completed move into this low. And what we could actually get is a bigger three-wave move here before looking to break to the downside. So we need to be careful because there are a few different bearish counts here where we could still be looking for continuation down unless we manage to break above this 28,136 level. So if we are looking at this idea of breaking down directly from where we are, what we would be looking for is effectively something like this. Invalidation would be 26,135. And what we'd be saying is that we've had this as a diagonal for wave 1. We're looking for this as a wave 2 here. And then we're looking for the potential of a wave 3 to the downside. The common zone of rejection here is this 26,011 to this 25,779. Failure to break back above this 786 would still make me look out for the potential that we could see price looking to drop to the downside. Though, given the current structure that we've got here off of this high that we have at this 25,916, the 1.618 would be down here at this 25k region. So we'd have to see price actually looking to start to break down here, looking to form a five-wave move, looking to take out this 25,000 area as a wave 3. And then what we would have is an additional fourth and a fifth, and this would then potentially look to complete our move. Once again, looking for this lower target box area here, which would also align with the idea of coming into this blue target box of this 25,140 to this 25,829 level. So going to be on the lookout for this potential to see this continuation down. If, however, we start to push back above this 26,135, like I said, it is possible that we could be looking at something more along these lines here, where what we are saying is that we have this as an A wave here, this is a B, and we're looking for a C wave. Now, the common target for a C wave is between this 1-to-1 and this 1-2-3-6, which is sitting here at this 26,374 to this 26,569. If we do continue to hold this low of this 25,333, we can look for this potential to see a push to the upside. Now, this area would be quite interesting because if we do look to actually push up into this higher zone here, if this is just a three-wave move here, where this becomes A, B, and C, and we fail to push up past this 1.618 level here of this 26,887, the likelihood is then that this is just going to be a corrective move up. Now, if we do just get a corrective move up here, it is possible that we could just actually continue to sell off from this point if we fail to hold this low. It is also possible, you know, we could start to get something more complex where we see something like this play out, where we see a bigger corrective structure starting to form here. But really, until we actually take the high here, there's nothing bullish around, you know, until we actually take this 28,141 level, it is pointing more towards the downside than to the upside. Now, if we do see something along these lines where we see this as a bigger ABC pattern here, what we need to be careful of is that if this move fails to push up past this invalidation point, and we see this actually develop as a bigger ABC pattern, looking to push us up into this 26,535 to this 27,443 level, we can still look for the potential that we could have extension within these waves. Now, at the moment, I'm treating this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and looking for this fifth wave, but it is also possible this could become 1, 2, this could be 1, 2, and we're forming another 1 and 2 here. Now, if we fail to actually push up past this invalidation point, and we do just get a three-wave move up here, and we start to see a more violent sell-off to the downside, which looks to push us down towards this 21,615 level, we could actually be looking for a much deeper corrective structure here, where instead of this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what we have is, like I said, this is an additional 1, 2. Now, if we cross this 20,903, which we can see over here, would align with this orange target box, then that would be 1.618 of this move here, where this could then become 1, 2, this whole thing would become 3, we'd get 4 and 5, and then we'd get an additional fourth and a fifth to the downside. Now, this would look to push us down below this point of this 19,530 more than likely, which would mean that we would be actually looking to really push down quite deep off of this high here, which would make it more likely that, you know, this move is actually starting to trend to the downside. It is still possible that we could have this as a flat, where this is A, B, and C, where we get an extended C wave, but the likelihood is that if we start to break down like this, we have to be open to the interpretation that this whole move to the downside could then become an A wave, we get a B wave, and then we actually look for a much deeper drop to the downside. Now, another way that we can actually look at this move, because we're looking for a C wave here, what we can see is something more along these lines, where we're actually looking for something like a diagonal pattern. So this isn't one that I've talked about recently, but what we could actually see is that if we look at this rather as A, B, and C into this point, what we have then is a three-wave move down and a three-wave move to the upside. So what I'm looking for with regards to this idea of the diagonal is that more locally here, if we do see this develop as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get A, B, and C as a push to the upside here. And then we see a push down. If we fail to hit that impulsive trigger that we're looking for, that 1.618 from wherever this correction completes, and we go further than the typical fifth wave target area, what I would be looking out for is the potential that we could have this as an A, B, and a C. Now, if we do form something along these lines, I've taken this off of this golden pocket area here of moving up to this 27K region, because I think it's an interesting zone. If we do see some price movement to the upside, we're going to go over that in a second. But what we would be looking for then is the potential of actually having 3 waves up and then another 3 waves to the downside. So this would be looking to form a diagonal pattern to complete this C wave to the downside, which would explain why the move is getting a bit choppy and not really doing anything at the moment. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see how it plays out. Now, if we do form this as a C wave as it's shown here, effectively invalidation of this idea of the diagonal comes by crossing 22,397. So this will be the key difference here, is that if we do see 5, 3, and 5 to the downside, what I'll be looking at is this 24,327 to this 23,369 area as potential support before looking for that fourth and that fifth. If it starts to push down here and we go past this zone, then the likelihood is that actually we're just getting a deeper impulse looking to develop. coming in here and having a look at the daily CPR lines, what we can see is that we are currently above our central lines. These have printed a lower line, which is showing us the potential for a move to the downside. Now, if we do continue to reject off these central lines, which are sitting between this 25,773 to this 25,732 level, we do have downside targets for today of this 25,599. We have 25,396, 25,242, and 25,051 as downside targets. If, however, we manage to reclaim these central lines and we continue to hold these, we could look to actually see a test of this 25,949, 26,108, 26,298, and 26,462 as potential upside targets for today. Now, that would align more with the idea of seeing this as an ABC and looking to push to the upside here. So if we do see something like that, it'll be quite interesting to see how we interact with those levels. Now, moving over here and having a look at the weekly, what we can see is that we have our central lines here above us. Now, these haven't been interacted with here yet. So if we do see price looking to push up here, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this 26,220, 26,474, and 26,741 as potential upside targets, because these central lines tend to act like magnets, and when we don't have an interaction with them, price tends to be attracted towards these levels. Now, for the bullish case, if we are looking at the possibility of some kind of a reversal of this low, though the potential is quite low in my opinion, what I'd be looking for is if we reclaim these central lines, upside targets become 27,620, 29,286, and 30,453. Now, if we do fail to actually reclaim these and we do see either price move up into these and reject, or alternatively we just fail to push up into them and we start to reject to the downside, I will be keeping an eye on this S1 line at this 24,820. Lower down here, we also do have 23,677 as potential target, and lower down here this 22,029. So we're going to be watching these levels to see how we react if we do see price move into these zones. Now, moving over here onto the monthly, we can see we're currently underneath these CPR lines. We haven't had an interaction with them, and this is why I'm saying, you know, the potential is here to see price be attracted towards these lines, because we haven't had an interaction so far with them. Now, if we do look to push up here, 26,530, 27,159, and this 27,726 are potential target areas for these central lines. Now, these can offer us resistance and support at these levels, so we'll be watching these to see if we do get an interaction with them. It is also possible that price could just move away and actually look to come back down and look to test this 23,993. Other targets to the downside for this month is this 22,043 and this 18,905 as possible downside targets. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on these zones to see if price moves into them. If we do look to start flipping these central lines here into support, upside targets for this month would become 29,065, 32,198, and this 34,108 as potential upside targets. So these central lines are going to be important. We're going to have to keep an eye on how we react here. They have printed lower, so this is giving us an initial bearish indication. So we're going to have to see whether price continues to show us this bearish bias or whether it's actually going to reject it. And we're going to look to reclaim these and potentially look to test some of these higher zones. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Everyone, have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.